I still remember Miles said, the whole world was like they're working for Wall Street, and Wall Street is working for BlackRock and Vanguard and Ray Dalio, like Bridgewater, and because they control so many different areas through like different architectural structure of the business ownership, through stocks, through shares, and basically they own every aspect of of the whole world even. And we're talking about media, social media. We're talking about food, transportation, real estate. And now there's this investigation going on that it says BlackRock supposed caught secretly investing a lot of money to Chinese military through associated companies. Reported 429 billion dollars. We're talking about billions. I thought it was the first when I saw this news, I thought it was millions. I thought it was like $400 million, but actually $400 billion. So what's your thoughts? Saturn, you can go first.
So I mean, in the opening clip that you played, I do want to say, the idea behind and the thinking process behind it, it's actually absolutely correct. It's when you're dealing with companies, you're making investments overseas in China. Who are you really doing business with? You're not doing business with these companies. You're doing business with the CCP, because all of these companies, in one way or another, they have to report to the CCP or the CCP because of the way they rule over these companies. They want total and absolute control about what is going on, and a lot. And just when we talk about BlackRock and Vanguard, right? It's very interesting in the way that it's laid out on how they're actually the ones pulling the strings, right? Because you have to keep in mind that Western societies, and especially America, they're built based off of capitalism. And what is at the center and the most important element of capitalism that keeps it going? And it's competition, right? So when they have stuff set up like this, there's no way there can be any type of competition, and it's easy to see why prices are flying up all over the place, and especially when we're talking about making such a large amount of investments into CCP military. This becomes like a very, very serious issue. And especially when you're funneling investments or money into the CCP companies, and while they're being all controlled by the CCP or influenced by the CCP in one way or another, this is essentially, like you said, it's keeping your enemies, is making your enemies stronger. And one of the things Miles Guo and the NFSC has been saying is, like you said, is to decouple from the CCP financially, because if you look at the markets in CCP right now, they're not doing so well, and if you look at the GDP, I mean, it's not even comparable to the amount of debt they have in just the real estate alone. So with all of that in mind, and if we're making any more investments to these CCP companies that have CCP ties, we're essentially keeping them alive when they're already on their way into a financial collapse. So yeah, that's my take on it. But this is also a very interesting topic, and I suggest all of our viewers to take a look into this, because this is really vast when we talk about BlackRock and Vanguard.